Good morning, everyone. Jonathan J. Reinhardt here from Wargaming Recon. I want to welcome you to today's pandemic coffee break. Today is Thursday, May 21st, 2020. If you are watching live, or if you're watching at any point, really, whether it's live or after the fact, drop a comment. Let us know that you're here, that you've seen the video, and that you are joining us. So I am lucky enough to get to work from home. And just like when I'm at work, I'm taking a coffee break and I'm spending it with you. So I have my decaf Earl Grey with cream and sugar. It's not that warm anymore, but it's here. And you're going to notice things are a little different. I don't have my green screen all the way up today because I don't want to bother. And I'll tell you why. My new MacBook Pro is coming today. Any minute, it's like half a mile away. And so I said, do you know what? I don't want to go through the trouble of setting up the green screen to do it for this. So it's kind of that you can see part of it here. I got a little brick wall look going on. And then I've actually cleaned all the way over, which you can't see yet, over on the other side for video shoot. So I can do an unboxing video. And we're going to do some other videos, setups and things, which I'm really, really excited about. So last night I spent like 2 hours cleaning my gaming table. It's a 6 foot by 4 foot table, and it had been covered with all sorts of MDF and painting supplies and things because that's where I've been building all the MDF that you've seen. And any of the painting and stuff. So when I've been doing those Saturday night hobby hangouts, I've been doing them live at like 8 o'clock, 8:30 or so Eastern Standard Time. They've been done over there. And it's been a huge mess. So I was like, okay, I want to do some video work. So I spent 2 hours. I cleaned the whole thing up, put stuff away, made it really neat. Downside is I'm not really going to be able to do any MDF stuff anytime soon, but I am going to finish off, don't worry, the Leicester farmhouse. And I'm also going to start work on the Leicester barn. So that'll be happening. And that's really cool. And I'm very, very excited about that. Today we have some big news to share with people and also some other things to go over as well. But first, let me welcome those of you who are live. So we have Larry here. Good morning, Larry. Thank you so much. Court says, finally found it. Thank you for joining us, Court. Mark says, good morning. Good morning to you, Mark. And good morning to you too, Dave. And good morning to you, David. Thank you for joining us. So very, very exciting for that. Now I want to start us off with some sad news. It's big news, though. So there's another convention that's been canceled. So we have, as I pull it up, here we go. We have Spiel in Essen has been canceled because of the COVID pandemic. And if you head on over, oh God, I'm sure that I'm not even sure that's how you say it. Spiel. I wish Jorg was here because Jorg would tell me the correct way to say it, and he might even actually, he might actually even pronounce it correctly for me because he's from Germany. But it was supposed to take place this October or August, I think it is. October. And so they have this announcement out saying, with great regret, we have to announce today that we have to postpone this year's Spiel, which is planned for the 22nd to 25th of October 2020. It's been postponed to October 14th to the 17th, 2021. And that basically they're already planning ahead and that they just don't want anyone to get sick or hurt. So I thank them for taking the difficult decision, but the right one in doing that and helping people out to stay safe and healthy by doing that. But of course, just like when I talked yesterday about Gen Con, about the impact for everyone, the Spiel cancellation is another huge impact for the hobby because a lot of board games make their debut there. A lot of board games get their awards there, which helps them to fuel and do really well in the market. So any of those really popular games you've ever played, like, I don't know, Pandemic or Agricola, for example, they've done really well at Spiel. So the fact that it's not happening is going to hurt the board game industry a lot. And now that we have that fusion, right, because we talked yesterday, or was it the day before, about that new Kickstarter that Jamie showed me. That's a board game, but then has miniatures. But now that we have that fusion of miniatures and board games, you're going to see that ripple effect more and more, not just in the board game community, not just in the Eurogamer board game community, but it's going to cascade all the way across. And you might even recall, if you saw it way, way back, Miniature Wargaming, the documentary, it's called Miniature War Game, the movie, but it's a documentary. In it, Macrocosm Games in the UK was going to the UK Expo, Board Game Expo, and they were intending to launch a board game, actually, and they've since moved away from that. Excuse me, put it on the back burner. But the fact that they were going to do it as a miniatures company just kind of shows you how this cascades, and they are an independent miniatures company. Excuse me, I need some. So there's a lot of impact there as well, and so we're going to see this fallout from Gen Con, from Spiel. These two in particular, I think, are going to be really huge as they kind of pervade through all aspect of the tabletop gaming hobby. And as we move forward, it's really going to be interesting to see what life is like in 2021 for conventions, for the big ones like PAX, and for the big historical ones like Historicon, and of course, even across the pond, there's so many just really important ones in England, and what they do and what they don't do and what happens. So that'll be really interesting to see. I know that up here in New England, Total Confusion has already planned and announced that they will be doing their standard convention in 2021 in February. And they don't have details because they have to see what the rules and regulations are for Massachusetts for large gatherings, and what that'll look like. And what that is now and what that is moving forward will change between then and when the convention actually comes. So that'll be just really interesting. And I know there's been numerous conventions that have wanted to postpone from earlier this year to the fall. Rising Phoenix Games, Dark Phoenix Games is going to do Rising Phoenix Con. I'm a special guest for it, and they've been hoping to push it back to the fall, and I honestly don't know if that's going to be enough time, but they're keeping a look at it and doing all the things that they have to do. So it's pretty big news here for the hobby lately. And I mean, this is going to sound really elitist, I guess, and size phobic, maybe. Size whatever the size version of sexist and ethnocentric is. But it's one thing when you have a smaller convention or a more localized convention that cancels, say, some of the HMGS ones, or a Huzzah, or a Total Con, for example, or a Carnage or whatever. But it's another thing when you go big, like when you get Historicon for historicals, which is big, but even that still is considered small when you compare it to like a PAX or a Gen Con or a Spiel. So when you get to these like mega conventions, the impact that they have is huge. But then also it makes me wonder really if we're going to see a move away from these mega conventions to more of the medium size and maybe large size as well conventions. So more of the Historicons, more of the Captain Cons and the Carnages and Total Cons and Huzzahs and things like that, Nash Cons and more of the Enfilades, because that means there's fewer people. It means you get hyper local content and individuals and audiences, so you get super relevancy there. You're targeting all the keywords. I'm talking SEO speak for people, but really it matters more, I think, for the game designers and the companies, because they can interact better with their targeted customers. And then I also think you're going to see a lot more of the virtual stuff. So I think that's really going to be of interest there for people. Moving on, I want to talk a little bit about an upcoming virtual gaming convention that's happening this coming weekend. So it is Balticon, and I'm going to show my screen to all of you because this is a really cool place to look at. And this is something that's been done numerous years. You can see here, it's put on by the Baltimore Science Fiction Society, and it is the regional sci-fi and fantasy convention for Maryland. I've been made aware of this because my buddy Peter Bryant and my buddy Mike Hafis go and do stuff here as part of the Mythwits. And so this year it's virtual. And I think there's always been a virtual-ish component to it, but it's completely virtual here. It's 100% free to attend. Got to make sure I highlight that 100% free. They are doing a GoFundMe though, and that's going to allow the Baltimore sci-fi people to help new writers foster literacy among Baltimore City's disadvantaged youth. And so you can either just donate as a one-time or repeating donation, or you can register through it for the convention. And if you do that, you get all the regular stuff that everyone else gets, but then you also get to have special things as well. So you'll be able to get right here. You can get premiums like t-shirts, publications, early access to session registration, which is really cool, and things like that. So if you wish to donate or attend Balticon, go to balticon.org. That's Balticon. And I want to highlight here a thing that's being done by the Mythwits. So if I'm just going up here to programming, to program schedule. Don't tell Mike because he doesn't know what they're doing. But the Mythwits is on Saturday, May 23rd, and they're at night. So we're just going to scroll down. You can see there's a lot of events here and a lot of like literacy and reading stuff. Look, aircraft carriers in space. That looks really cool. That's being done on Zoom. There's some gaming. You can start GMing now. Peter Bryant's going to be doing that with some people. So that's really cool. Tips for first time GMs. But as we go further in, let's go. Some more gaming in the electronic and digital age. That sounds interesting. Maybe I should sign up for some of this stuff about robots. Way cool. So as we go down all the way down here to 8 p.m. and we can see right. He told me it was 8. Did I go past it? Sorry, 9 p.m. He told me 8. He lied. So at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can see right here, there's a live performance. The Mythwits are doing a live podcast with Pete, Mike, and they're doing it with two buddies of theirs, Scott Pond and Tori Pond. And this is going to be done on Zoom, and they're doing a special challenge. So don't tell Mike, because Mike doesn't know what they're doing. Mike, if you're paying attention now, go away. Do not listen. Do not watch. Okay, I think he's gone. So they're doing a special challenge where they're going to take a shot of Vic-It water. And it says here, watch us down this disgusting substance while we try to answer your questions. It's going to be about an hour long. Now, if you're not familiar with Vic-It, Vic-It is water, but it is incredibly thick. It's so thick. Have you ever seen any videos where they show like eels and slugs and things like that and all the slime that comes off them and how thick and gel-like that is? Vic-It is water. It's literally water, but it's as thick, has that consistency of the slime and all the gross stuff that comes off eels and everything. Just super, super thick. And so these people are going to be drinking it. They're going to take a whole shot, which is like, there's people who are really into discussing stuff who do these challenges, who do this, and they vomit like right as soon as they start having it because it's so intense. So if you don't want to see any people upchuck, you might not want to watch it, or close your eyes. Like I would do when I would watch Game of Thrones with my wife. I'd be like, okay, tell me when they put their clothes back on. And then she'd tell me it would be safe to watch. So there's that happening. Balticon.org is a really cool thing to check out as well. And then I would like to also highlight here another website for you to take a peek at. So this is a blog that's run, and maybe some of you have already checked it out. It's a Fencing Frog blog. It's run by Adam Carrier. Adam is a guy I played games with, and he also GM'd a game at Let's Roll last weekend for Black Seas, and he did a write-up about it. But the neat thing about this is, beyond the write-up, he took pictures. So you can see here his table, the setup of everything. You can see he has a tripod up in the corner and how he set things up and all of that. So you can just click on any of the pictures, and so you can get a closer look and stuff. And he gives a little descriptions about what's happening. And it's really neat that you can go ahead and check this out. And it's a way to kind of live vicariously about playing a game of Black Seas. And I think he may have taken video and sent it to Let's Roll, but I'm honestly not 100% positive. So don't hold me to it. But if he did, that will be up on Let's Roll con.com at some point. So that is a very cool thing. And Adam actually just has a lot of other really neat stuff on here. So if you just go to the main Fencing Frog website, which is fencingfrog.blogspot.com, you can see that he has just all sorts of stuff here that you can go and you can click on and see what he's done, his prepping, and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know why that's showing a weird thing. Here we go. This is how it should look. I was like, why does it look so weird? So you can just see, and he does stuff with his life and gaming and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, here's a better look. So you can see all that. And then he uses, they call it labels, but he uses tags so you can really kind of hone in on what kind of stuff you want to do. We can see what he does a lot of. Flames of War, he's had a lot of. Frostgrave, he's had a lot of. So depending on what your interest is, you can kind of just hone in to that and check things out. But he gets a lot of really cool stuff up on there. So that's pretty awesome that exists. Let's take a peek at the chat and see how things are going here today. So we have Larry saying, John Siracusa called cleaning for his new Mac Pro, preparing the way. This is the way. Good morning, Mike. Thank you for joining us. And good morning, Robert. Thank you for tuning in as well. Let's see. David says, hopefully HMGS will host Fall In this fall. Yeah, that's a good question. And I guess we just kind of have to stay tuned and see what happens. Honestly, I think everyone should prepare for there to be no conventions this entire year. So those that happened early-ish enough, January, February, I think they got through. But the ones for the rest, I think you're not going to see it because, again, this can be wrong. And I am not a professional, so take what I say with a grain of salt, especially since I'm not giving you a source to go by, like a good source. But I've been reading that all those who are experts, the doctors, scientists, and medical professionals, are anticipating, which does not mean it will happen, but means that it may happen, but anticipating another big surge or uptick in the pandemic this fall as the cold weather comes, and since we don't have any vaccines just yet and things like that, and that a lot of people who are at risk, I mean, I'm in that risk category, but a lot of people who are at risk, so you're talking people of a certain age, people with certain health issues and stuff, really need to be staying home. And so a lot of these people are people who go to these conventions, right? So I think you might see that there's a delay of a year. This will be like mostly a lost year for tabletop gaming conventions. But again, we shall see. Now, just because I'm not able to do any MDF right now, or not really any MDF, doesn't mean I can't show you cool terrain stuff. So I want to show you an Architects of War piece that I don't remember if I showed you before. And so I had it on the side and I thought, did I do this on a coffee break already or not? And I could have gone back through, the how many months worth of coffee breaks and looked, or I can just pull it out again and show it to you again. Can you guess which one I did? I can. So let me grab that. So this is the original box. And it is, I'm not going to see the whole thing, but this is the Architects of War called the Shanty. And I love this piece. I love all the Architects of War stuff. And it's a shame, like, you can't find any of them. Even on like the secondary market, I've only ever been able to find a couple pieces that weren't painted or built. And they're just really tiny things. And I don't even know if you can get them anymore from where I've seen them. And even like ones that have been assembled or painted, I can't find them anywhere. So if you have a lead on any of them, I'd love to get my hands on some, even if someone else already painted them and stuff, just because I think they're really cool and they're worth having. So let's yank this bad boy out. And as I do this, I feel like maybe I did show this already, but that's okay. You're my captive audience, right? What are you? Oh no! It broke. We can fix it. So this is a shanty. You can see here's the front door. It doesn't open. And the roof comes off. The roof is really big and heavy. And in here, and I'm going to give you a little extra illumination. Hold on a sec. So I'm going to blind me slightly, but you're going to see a whole lot better. Sorry. That's still too bright. So you can see right here. There we go. That's so much better. And awkward, but better for all of you. So you can see right here, there's a chimney on the side closest to my face. And then you can also see there's like a little what is that? It's like a little pail, I guess, either for you for when you have to go in the middle of the night or to keep your colon and stuff. The bed is something that has that weird white on it, a little bedroll. But you can see it's nicely detailed on the inside. And the roof, unfortunately, while it was in the thing, it must have fallen at some point. It cracked. So this fell off, which is unfortunate. But again, this is all resin, and I can just glue this back on. And it's not really any noticeable. And that's not a problem. I get plenty of glue, so we can do that. But even if I didn't, I could leave this off and just be like, it's been damaged, right? There was a problem, or a tree fell on it, maybe. So you just kind of put it all on. And then, like, the tree fell on it. So you can just dress it up if one wanted. So I can fix it. It's not a problem. I do want to point out there's another neat feature on the roof, though, that they really thought of. So you can see right here, it's a bird's nest. Isn't that really cool? So just like a little extra feature, a little thing that they've done. I'll do a little repair with that. So normally I keep it in its original box with packing paper around it. And that must have just failed for whatever reason. But that is easily fixable. So that is what we have. And I want to show you one thing. So in the past, people have talked about Twitch and about maybe streaming on there and doing stuff on there. And I wanted to show you a video clip of one of their new moderators who's coming under fire recently. And so this moderator is known as Ferociously Steph. And I'm going to put a link in the chat. And Steph is an individual who, and I might be incorrect, so please do not lynch me over this, but is an individual who I believe is trans and is a female and identifies as a deer, as in the woodland creature. So here we go. So you can see here, you're not going to hear anything, but here's a video. Ferociously Steph is the one in the front, and Steph's partner is the one in the back. And so Steph has come under some heat, especially within the past day or two in the gaming community, because there's been some remarks that have come out, and I think that it still has to be clarified, but there's been some remarks that have come out that have said that basically if you as an individual, as a user or as a streamer on Twitch, do not hold the same beliefs as Ferociously Steph, or are not as least as diverse in your opinions and beliefs as Ferociously Steph, that you will get banned or enter some sort of moderation setup from Twitch. So this has caused a lot of concern among gamers, obviously mostly video gamers and computer gamers and streamers. But the reason why I'm mentioning this at all is because with virtual gaming conventions and tabletop conventions, more of them are streaming to Twitch. And so this is a thing to be aware of, especially for historical games, where if you're playing a historical game that might not meet the modern standards of inclusivity and intersectionality, that it might be something you should consider before you put it on Twitch. So if you're doing something set in the American Civil War, that might be problematic. World War II, where you might have SS units, again, problematic. If you do something in the American Midwest, cowboys and Indians, might be problematic. So Twitch might not be the platform for you. And I'm not saying that you will get into any sort of moderation trouble. I'm not saying that there's any sort of agenda or vindictiveness or anything like that. I want to make you aware of it. Also, I want to say for the record, here at Wargaming Recon, we love and support all. We believe that anyone who is not hurting others with their actions and beliefs, and as long as it's legal, that's fine with us. So we do not have any hatred towards any individuals who have beliefs or have no beliefs about anything. So we are an inclusive and diverse group, or as much as we can be. So this is a thing just for people who might be of interest to it. And I know there's a lot of responses to it that run the whole spectrum of feelings and opinions and beliefs, but this is a thing now, and that's how it is. So let's see. In the chat, John says, Architects of War made the best terrain. I miss them. I agree. I wish they would come back. Someone please buy them up, buy their IP and all their designs and start making that stuff. And then we have Walt. Hi, Walt. Walt says, wait, what? Twitch as a whole will moderate anything they don't approve of? That's nonsense. So this individual is part of the Twitch moderating team, and that's not what they call it, but it's the moderating team. And if this individual happens to come across anything, then the Twitch user, streamer, or the content might enter some sort of moderation. There's an article. Let me see if I can pull this up, because there was an article that I saw someone made me aware of this morning. So let me pull this up as well. Okay, so here we go. I have an article here. And I'm going to share this with all of you so you can actually see it. And again, I want to stress that. Sure. Okay. I want to close this. Oh, let's refresh. Maybe that'll help. I want to stress that we are inclusive here at Wargaming Recon, and I am not suggesting any sort of hatred or, oh, for the love of goodness, or violation about anyone who might hold a belief or opinion or have any sort of existing with this. So let's see. I think I turned it off, my ad block, and let's see if it'll actually let us get to the article. So the title of the article is a member. Oh, come on. A member of Twitch's new safety council is facing harassment for criticizing voice chat as non-inclusive. So why do we have a gigantic ad banner? Go away. Here we go. So this is Ferociously Steph. And as it says here, Ferociously Steph is facing harassment for her comments against the platform's voice chat feature, which she said can be non-inclusive. And so I'm sorry, I presume their gender. This individual is getting negative feedback about this. People are not being very kind, but there's been stuff. There was a comment, and I can't find that article, but there's a comment where this individual has said that people should be afraid because that this person will remove your content and will put you into moderation. So I can't find that off the top of my head, and I do apologize for that as well. But you can see here, this is from insider.com. And if you just do a search for this individual's name, and I'm putting this in the chat. So if you do search for this individual, I'm sure you'll find all sorts of articles and further information, more than I have, and maybe more clarifications than I have. As far as I can tell, this is an evolving story, but I wanted to share it, if for no other reason than to make you all aware that you should be mindful about the content you're putting out there and the games you're putting out there and how people might receive them. So just because you and your friends are playing, I don't know, Dungeons and Dragons or Call of Cthulhu or whatever, and you have a certain world in which that's set, or you're doing swords and sorcery, right? Swords and sorcery is not very inclusive. It's not very kind to women, actually. And nowadays, that can be considered offensive, and people can be really bothered by it. It can cause them some emotional harm. And that's just something of which you might want to be mindful. I'm not trying to tell you what to do or not to do, but just saying that we should all be a little more open-minded and receptive and caring towards one another. And that goes as well for people who might take offense at stuff. So this is just a thing that's there because, I don't know, it is. So anyway, I think that's all that we have. I've just checked and see that my new computer is inching ever closer to me. There's a lot of stops that going on. My goodness, UPS. Uh, but I think that's about all the time that we have here today. So don't forget that tomorrow I will be back for another pandemic coffee break at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I do want to remind you all that as of June 1st, whatever that week is, the Monday of that week, that I will be going back to work. And I guess that is a Monday. And so that means the coffee breaks will be changing. As far as I know, I will be working on site Mondays in the morning until about just after lunchtime, which means I won't be able to do coffee break at the normal time. So please let me know if you think I should just do a pandemic coffee break later in the day, or if we should just cancel the Monday coffee break and make it a Tuesday through Thursday thing. So those are your two options. I'll put a poll up on the Wargaming Recon Facebook fan club so people can let me know what you think, or just say in the chat, do you want me to keep the Monday coffee break but later in the day, like in the afternoon, like an afternoon tea break, I guess? Or do you want me to just drop it and we just do Tuesday through Thursday? You tell me what you like. Tuesday through Friday, I mean. So you tell me what you like, and that's what we'll get. So otherwise, thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you have a good day. The weather is gorgeous around here. Absolutely delightful. It's fantastic. I'm so happy about it. So remember, please be kind to yourself and to others. Good enough is good. And we're going to get through this, all of us. We will. So it just takes some time and we have to work together. And most importantly, do not trust Karen on Facebook because she tells lies. Karen, no, you can't talk to my manager. I want to talk to your manager, Karen. Shut yourself up and sit down. Be quiet because you're nonsense. So whether it's about the pandemic or anything in life, listen to the experts, the doctors, the scientists, the medical professionals, people who know what they're talking about, whatever field they're in. You want to go to the professionals and the experts, go to them, not Karen on Facebook. So there you go, Karen. I'm done with your nonsense. Goodbye, Karen. So until tomorrow, you know the drill. No matter how busy you are, no matter how much time you're thinking, dang, Jonathan just broke some Architects Award that he can't get anymore. You know that you need to, you have to keep on gaming. Thanks, everyone. Be well.